Hello, I'm Teresa, and today I wanted to speak about an important yogi concept called Satya, or truthfulness. The last time I made a video, it was about another important yogi concept called Ahimsa, or non-violence. When we practice Ahimsa, we are trying to cultivate the feeling of unconditional love for all beings in our hearts. And you may think that when you're practicing Ahimsa, or non-violence, you may think that that means that you can't have disagreements or confrontation. And what Satya asks us to do is to balance out Ahimsa, or non-violence, with the truth. So when we're practicing Ahimsa, we are practicing a number of different techniques for being truthful. So one of them is to speak up when you need to speak up. So that may be if you see bullying, or you see something happening in the workplace or with leaders or even industries that you know are in your heart not the right thing that they're doing. It's important to share your information and to speak up if you need to. It's how we speak up that's important. And we don't need to go to violent acts in order to share our truth, but it's important that we do say something if we need to say something. So speaking up helps to balance out Ahimsa. We also don't want to exaggerate, because when you're being truthful, you are sticking to the facts. So sometimes when you're sharing your side of the story, you may be tempted to put a little extra zing in your story, kind of spin it your way a little bit. And when we practice Satya, or truthfulness, we are being asked to not do that, to just say the specifics of what is true. Also, when we practice Satya, another thing that we are trying to do is acknowledge that other people have truths as well as us. So if there's a situation at work, for example, you may only know part of that situation. So your truth might be different than another person's truth. And when we're practicing truthfulness, we want to find out why another person might feel differently about something. So that's a very compassionate act, to find out why somebody that disagrees with you, why they feel the way they do. And if together you can have a conversation on what is the truth for each of you, you'll probably find that there's a lot of common ground there. When we're acknowledging that other people have different truths, it's also important to acknowledge that people that we don't like will do things that are also good. So this happens a lot of the times when we're thinking about our leaders, our political leaders, for example. They might do things that really are beneficial and good, and we're hesitant to acknowledge those good things that they do because it doesn't fit into the narrative that we have, that that side is all bad. So being truthful means also acknowledging when somebody that we don't like does something that is beneficial. And then finally, when we're being truthful, we don't gossip. Humans have a very interesting social thing that they do, and that is that we tend to bond over negative things or shared dislikes. So if we find out a little piece of information that maybe is negative, it really gives us a little bit of a jolt, a little zing when we share that with somebody else. But if we're practicing truthfulness, before we share a piece of information, share a piece of gossip, we want to think through that and think to ourselves, is this really something that's true that I'm sharing? And how will sharing this information affect that person that I'm sharing it with? How will it affect the person who I'm gossiping about? And how will it affect me later too? Because what if somebody finds out that you're sharing this information? It might negatively affect you. So thinking through all of this is an important part of truthfulness. So when we truly devote ourselves to Satya, truthfulness, we're moving from the realm of being a peace lover to a peacemaker. So most of us are peace lovers. We would like peace in our home, in our community, at our workplace, but we tend to not always be truthful. We exaggerate stories, we share gossip, we sometimes don't speak up when we need to speak up. We don't acknowledge when our boss has done something nice if we don't like them. So all of those things do not promote peace because they're hard things to do. We're moving out of our comfort zone. If we really want to be peacemakers, if we want to be responsible for a peaceful environment, we need to be mindful of how we're managing ourselves and that we're always speaking the truth. That's what I wanted to share on Satya. Thank you.